So this Mexico game comes between two very important matches. So will you make wholesale changes and what do you hope to get out of this game?
Yeah, that's right. For us, it's no different to what we faced in November. You know, there was a game that we had to play, a friendly game, and we made changes with one eye on the most important game, which was the Finland game. So it'll be no different for this campaign. You know, our most important thing is the World Cup qualifiers. We've got a massive game on Tuesday, so the team will be selected with one eye on that game on Tuesday.
Joe Allen limped off on Wednesday night. Can you provide us with an update on him? Will he be involved in either of the next two games?
No, unfortunately, he won't. No, we've lost Joe, which is a shame. I spoke before that game of the importance of him on and off the pitch, and it is a big loss for us. But like we said, it gives somebody else an opportunity to step up. I thought Joe's replacement in Joe Morrell was outstanding. Thought he'd come in and give a great account of himself, and he gives others an opportunity now to come in and do well. So, like I said, it's disappointing to not have him. And he'll have to go back to the club now and they'll do more assessments and then they'll know exactly where they're at with him with regards to time scale after they've assessed him.
Chris Gunter could win his 100th cap.
Yeah.
Will he start this game? And can you just put into words sort of the scale of that achievement and what he brings to the group, not just on the field, but off it as well?
Yeah, I keep saying it every camp. You know, every time I work with him, I'm more and more impressed. He's a model professional. He is a manager's dream. You know, he just gets on with his work. He trains as he plays, and he's thoroughly deserved his 100 caps and all the credit he's going to get from having achieved that. So, yeah, good to be a part of that with him. And like I said, good people in the game, good lads. You want to see do well, and he's certainly one of them.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your turn. Move on to Rob Phillips.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
You've lost Joe Allen, but you've not called in any midfield players. Have you been restricted because of COVID protocols to add to the squad? Is it significant? For instance, Brandon Cooper was already in a bubble. Yeah. Can you talk us through all that?
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult, as you can imagine, with COVID. And you know, we have to submit a squad to the league clubs and all the clubs that we have the players from. We picked a big squad, and we didn't foresee the injuries that we've had. You know, losing 3 defenders, losing Joe Allen, we didn't see that. We picked a squad of 31, and we had positions covered in numbers. So it's a shame, like I said, but it does give somebody else an opportunity now to step up to the plate. And I thought Joe Morrell gave a great account of himself when he came on the other night.
You haven't got James Lawrence with you, and yet England have been able to call on Jude Bellingham. Fans are asking the question, what's the distinction?
Yeah, I asked the question straight away as well. So after speaking to Mark Evans and finding out it's regionalised, so the government have said, you know, every region will have different rules and protocols that they stick to. And unfortunately, James falls under one that we have to send him back for quarantine rules. So it's very, very frustrating when you see other countries have their players from Germany and we can't. But it is what it is. They are the rules. We can't do anything about it, as frustrating as it is. But that's the justification, and that's the reasons why we couldn't have him fly back from Belgium with us.
Okay, so that's Welsh government, yeah? Welsh government rules.
German, yeah.
Oh, German government rules.
German government, not Wales. German government. They've regionalised out in Germany. They have different rules for each region. And the club that he plays for and in the region that won't allow him to come back into Britain.
Thanks for clarifying that. Last thing, what is the Joe Allen injury? We weren't quite certain on the night. What can you tell us?
Well, it's a soft tissue injury. To the extent of the injury, Rob, I'm not 100%. You know, I've left that to the medical team. It's down to them now to report back to the club. The club will get him back in and assess him and go from there with regards to timescale. But it was a soft tissue injury. I think he's had a difficult year, hasn't he? You know, and the amount of games he's played is probably caught up with him. You know, so it was inevitable that he was going to get something, and unfortunately, it happened a couple of minutes into our game against Belgium. But again, it's, you know, we've got to make sure that he's okay, and we'll send him back to the club now and get him assessed.
Rob, all the best tomorrow. Cheers.
Thanks, Rob. Cheers.
Thanks, Rob. We'll move on to Beth Fisher.
Hey, Rob, you all right?
Hi, Beth.
Yeah, I think you had 4 under 21 starting in the game this week. it proves, doesn't it, that these youngsters coming through are doing the job, and tomorrow will prove another, where are we now? Yeah, it's tomorrow, isn't it? Will prove another opportunity to blood some more youngsters.
Of course, yeah, and I'm glad you've said that, because we do every now and again have to put a little bit of perspective on where we're at as a nation, and things are great with Welsh football, absolutely, and rightly so. You know, since Ryan's taken over a couple of years ago, I was one of the ones he made the first phone call to about the youth and about what we've got coming through. The development and transition of that Euro squad in 2016 to where we're at now. You look at their players after the Belgian game, they had 7 or 8 players that were there in 2016. After we took Balo off, we had 1. So it's a massive change in a group of players and a squad. And I think they've been extremely successful straight away. Qualified for the Euros, won the league in the Nations League, and have been exceptional. But along the way, we're going to have, we're going to come across opposition like we faced the other day, world number 1, and it is going to have to put a little bit of perspective on it. What was pleasing was we held our own in much of the game. Certainly second half we did. And we can look back at the goals and there's slight changes we can make that will make us better again. But after that defeat the other day, it'll make us better as a group of players, and we learn from that. And inevitably we'll reap the rewards further down the line. And the next 2, 3 years, 4 years for this group is looking good.
I was going to say the recruitment over the couple of years has been incredible. And for those players maybe on the cusp of deciding which country to go to, they will look at Wales and know effectively they'll probably play a bigger part maybe if they went to England or a bigger country. And that works, doesn't it, for everyone?
Well, it's like any footballer. You want to be a part of a successful team and you want to play in the major tournaments. You don't just want the cap for the sake of having a cap. You want to play in major tournaments. Over the last, since 2016, from the qualification to the Euros, we've shown now that we are competing against the best, consistently qualifying for these tournaments. And of course, it's going to be appealing to the dual nationality players, which will only help our cause in the long run as well. But our standards are there, and we've got to maintain those standards and keep, wanting the players wanting to come away, which they absolutely do at the moment.
Mexico, an interesting opposition, different style of play that, compared to Europe. Bearing in mind, if you do qualify for the World Cup, are you doing this so you play a different style of football? Yeah,
it's a different opposition. You're right in saying that we're going to come across different challenges. And from a learning point of view for the younger players and the senior players also, it's great to have that as opposition. So it's going to be a challenging game, an absolute tough game for us. But we'll pick a team that goes out with one eye on Tuesday's game, the importance of that. And we look forward to the game.
Listen, good luck.
Thank you.
Diolch, Beth. Lawrence Mora.
Try and find the unmute button. But how you doing, Rob? You okay?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, decent. Listen, from one centre-back to another, Joe Rodon's sort of made a lot of the headlines and got the fans talking about his performance. Just how good can he be?
Yeah, I've worked with him for the last few years now and seen his development firsthand, and watched him grow as a person as well as a player. And yeah, I thought he was outstanding the other night. I did, arguably against one of the best European footballers in Lukaku. We went through some video clips. We had all the defenders in, showing some clips of his strengths, Lukaku, and he's a big physical presence, isn't he? He's predominantly left-footed, but likes to have that contact. And I think Joe handled him exceptionally well. But Joe being Joe, still not happy with his performance, which is great. You don't want players to think they're the finished article, and he certainly doesn't do that. He works hard in training. He works hard in his game, and he loves defending. That's why I've taken to him like I have as well, because he does enjoy the art of defending. And yeah, there's a lot more to come from him, and yeah, enjoying working with him.
Looking at the way the forwards have been selected over the last 3 games, or sort of competitive games in particular, it's been with that kind of false number 9 and Harry Wilson. Is that a way that the team is going now, or is Kiefer more kind of like a B option, if you like, or another club?
No, I think it's disrespectful to say that Kiefer's a B option. I think he's horses for courses. So I think you play a team that is going to win you a game and exploit the weaknesses of the opposition. Let's use Belgium as an example. They're a world-class football team, but of course they're going to have weaknesses. And we just thought with Balo and with DJ and with Harry's pace in the team, that could have more of an impact on them. So that's what we do. That goes through our thought process when we play in opposition, and it won't be any different moving forward.
What are you hoping to get from this game against Mexico then? What would your sort of ideal scenario be?
Experience for the younger players. We'll pick a team with one eye on Tuesday's important game. So that would be a factor, but it's against different opposition. We'll it's tough opposition. It's a tough game for us. We're going to face rotations and movement that some other teams in European football wouldn't have played against us. So that would be an experience for some of the other players, and it's as much as us giving them the detail when they're on the pitch, but they're going to have to sort it out for themselves when they're on the pitch in many respects as well. So it's going to be a great experience for them and a challenge that we're looking forward to.
Great, cheers, Rob. So the mic, I think, might have slipped as well. I don't know if it sounded like it was kind of going off mic a little bit there. Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Thanks.
Lawrence, I'll send the audio through to you separately from another mic as well after this, if there are any issues.
Cheers.
No problem. Okay, we're moving on now to Phil Cadden.
Hi, Rob. Can I just check on Joe Allen? Is there any possibility he could be a doubt for the Euros with this injury?
Well, no, I can't in the case. But like I said, it's not for me to speculate on that. I let the medical team deal with it. They'll go back to Stoke and assess him. But no, for me, it's not a severe injury. No.
And on Chris Gunter, can you confirm, will he actually start tomorrow?
Yeah, Chris will be playing. So it's a great achievement for him, and great to be a part of. He's deserved it. He's a great professional and a model professional to work with. So yeah, he deserves all the credit he's going to get from it, and certainly he'll be looking forward to the game.
And just finally from me, have you decided on your goalkeeper for the Euros at this stage, or is the door still open for Wayne Hennessy to reclaim his position?
No, what's good is we've got healthy competition, absolutely. So they'll take care of that themselves with the performances. So it seems that, or not seems, it's Wardy's got the position at the moment. He's been playing because of Wayne's injury. We know we've got a world-class goalkeeper in Wayne Hennessy as well that's unfortunately been injured for a large part of last season, which has been frustrating for him. So our decision to play Wardy was because he's probably the fittest out of the two at this moment in time, but things could change overnight. But the good thing for us is we've got 3-4 goalkeepers that are training at a level every day that's making us stand up and take note, so it's good to have that healthy competition.
Thanks, Rob. Good luck tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Tom Comelsey.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Hope you are too.
Good.
Have you spoken to Ryan since the Belgian game? And if so, what were his thoughts on the performance, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Spoke with Ryan, of course. Yeah. He was pleased with the second half. Like I said, we made the change at half time to be a little bit more positive in our press and get a little bit higher up the pitch. And we just didn't want to camp on the edge of the box and allow attack after attack. And he absolutely agreed with that. So yeah, there's aspects of it that he's pleased with, and obviously there's things that we can do better on. But overall, he was pleased.
Could I ask as well how it's working with him when you're picking a team? Are you picking a team with your staff and then going to him and saying, this is what we've got, what are your thoughts? Or is he involved in the actual selection of it?
Yeah, I've said before, I've answered this question numerous times, but we all, even 12 months ago, the way we select the team is we all have conversations, we'll all have ideas, we'll all put it down on paper, and then we'll come to a conclusion amongst all of us. So it's no different now. We'll all have an input. Myself, Albert, and Ryan will all have an input into it, and then pick a team that we think is going to go and beat the opposition.
And just finally from me, have you had any idea yet from the FAW of when a final decision will be made on what your role will be in the Euros?
No, I'm not interested in that. I'm just focused on, we've had 3, we've got 2 tough games coming up now. We've got to get this friendly out of the way, and I'm fully focused on what happens on Tuesday. It's for other people to make those decisions. We're not, myself, the players, the other staff here, we're not worrying about that. We just want to get this camp out of the way, get a win on Tuesday, get a positive performance and a win tomorrow, and then what happens after that happens. We'll deal with it.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, Tom Coleman.
Hi, Rob. You okay?
Hi, good. Thanks, you.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Brandon Cooper coming in, very highly rated at Swansea City. What does he bring to the table for you?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, again, I've worked with Brandon for the last couple of years, coming through the youth ranks, him and Ben Cabango, and you know, they played together, and the development has been sort of toe to toe, and then Ben has just slightly gone in front of him with regards to his minutes he's playing at Swansea within the first team. Fair play to Brandon. He didn't just want to sit and play 23s football. He got himself out on playing competitive football every week. And I like that about young players. They've got to go out and learn their trade. So he's got a bright future in front of him. He's been with the 21s camp this week. And albeit he is coming back from an injury, and he's played, I think, 1 game, but had a few weeks back training, which has been good for him. He's been great with the 21s on camp. And with us having 3 defenders not available, 2 injured and 1 having to go back to his club, it's an obvious one for us to call him in. He's got a bright future, and he's one that's pushing the others now.
You mentioned how sort of COVID protocols might make it a bit more difficult to bring in players. Does that mean that Brandon's call-up, it would be unfair to look into it too much in terms of players like James Chester, for example, their international futures?
Yeah, everybody's going to have an opinion on that, of course. But for us, yeah, it's COVID protocols. It's an easy one for us. But let's not take anything away from Coops. You know, he's had a great camp, and like I said, we know he's the future of Welsh football as well. So it's something that we're looking into, and would like to see him firsthand. I've spoke to the coaching staff about him, Albert. You know, and for Albert to have eyes on him now in this camp is beneficial as well.
So the door's certainly not closed on James Chester, though?
It's not closed on anybody. You know, if you're a Welsh footballer playing well at whatever level, you know, we're not going to close the door on anybody. So, yeah, the door's always open, but we'll pick a squad that we think is going to compete against not only the Europeans' best now, but the world best. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good luck tomorrow, Rob. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, and finally from James Nursey.
Hi, Rob. Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Hello. Are things pointing towards Chris Gunter being your captain tomorrow against Mexico? Is it fair for us to assume that?
Potentially.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Good assumption.
And you've explained kindly how James Lawrence can't play for you, and touched on your frustrations. I presume maybe a factor in that was Bellingham apparently did rather well for England last night. There's that sort of thing, I imagine, which maybe prompted some frustrations, was it?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, when you see other players coming in from Germany and being able to play, you know, we want the James to be a part of it, of course. But it's not to be. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, it does sort of add to the frustration when you see other players coming in from Germany. But the rules are there, and there's nothing we can do about that. So we can only focus on what we can control. So we have to get on with it.